everybody, and welcome back to the survival world, the former hardcore world. I am chopping down trees that I planted just last episode. Did I plant those just for the thumbnail? Yeah, maybe I did, but regardless, they gotta go because I want to build some more buildings here, and these trees are just kind of all in the way right now. I want to figure out a couple smaller houses here, and I don't have a great plan other than I want them to be square. Now, on the top of them, maybe a smaller square to sort of mimic the big palace that I already built or not. I don't know, but let's just go with the square design, and I'm going to go ahead and try to texture this while I build it. Roughing them in first with just like all cobblestone, and then coming back and adding the moss and the glow lichen and the mossy cobblestone stuff. It is really painful, so I'm hoping that I can do this sort of on the fly, and then this will speed up the entire process. But yeah, we'll see. I want it to look random, but this is kind of awkward to do while we play. I'll be really honest, I am not really happy with this kingdom so far. I really like the texturing and the bit that we're doing there, and I like the idea of it, but I don't really like how it's turning out. I think it will be better once we get a really overgrown look, but I gotta add some detail here. I had tried to not add detail. I tried to keep this very plain and very just like flat shapes, but I don't think I can. I don't think I have it in me. Yeah, these need detail. They need at least windows, if not more. Look, I'll be honest, I don't want to go crazy with leaves here, but honestly, I might go crazy. I don't want to, but I think that this needs to look like there have been leaves falling down on this place and trees growing basically right on top of the houses for a really long time. Now, this is going to get to be a lot easier once I actually get the trees in, because you're going to sort of get the feeling right. But as of now, I just got to start putting some leaves kind of in the corners where they would sort of collect if the wind blows. Look, I have a garage that opens up, and even though there's no tree near our driveway, that garage fills up with leaves like crazy because the leaves go into the garage and they never ever leave. So, you know, I want to do the same thing here. Okay, this might look like leaf spam, which is, you know, the easiest way to make a bad build look kind of decent, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. I think. Maybe I do. Windows are going to be a little bit difficult in this style, though. Glass would look ridiculous, so I'm going to use jungle fences. Very old school Minecraft. I don't want to use glass here. Even though I have the sort of medieval textures on my glass, I think that really fences is the way to go. The other problem I have is there's no way to get up here right now. I need stairs or something to actually get up to the second floor. Like, here's the thing, the style I'm going for is I want ruined houses and ruined living places, but also that people are still living there. I don't want them to be totally ruined. I want it to look, oh, come on, Spider, I'm trying to talk. I did a custom tree, and then the more I've been thinking about it, the more I think I'm going to go with a mixture of trees, about half jungle and half mangrove. I really feel like it's going to give me the look of an overgrown wild that people are still currently living within. I think it's going to be great. The other thing that I'm going to want to do is add little tiny curly roads that go all over the place. Like, this should be paths through a dense jungle. I don't think that these people would clear any more jungle than they need to either build roads or houses, right? So everything else is going to be sort of jungle and wilds, and then paths that just snake around all the trees. The lack of jungle saplings is a real thing, and so I've been just growing them up and taking my fortune hoe and just, you know, harvesting all the wood and all the saplings I can probably get my hand on. I'm getting like 8 saplings if I fortune all the leaves per big jungle tree, so it's better than nothing, but it's not great. While I start adding some dense undergrowth here to the jungle, I do want to mention that I started segmenting out the lore stuff separately. After the video comes out by a day or two, I will probably put out just the lore segments, the two, the big one in the middle and the epilogue probably the day after, as sort of a clips part, still on the main channel, but there's a playlist. So if you missed a couple episodes and you want to catch up, check out that playlist. It's called Fixxiverse Lore Clips. But while I was doing that, I found a wandering trader, and he actually was selling nautilus shells, which is what I desperately need for a conduit for way back in Steelport. Yes, I gotta get some emeralds. Oh, this nether, I hate it. I hate it so much, and I really want to work on it. I haven't yet decided what I want it to be, but yeah, I really hate it. After grabbing as many emeralds as I could quickly get, because I don't have a lot of them here, I was able to get, 5 nautilus shells? That is absolutely awesome. I don't know how many you need for a conduit, but that's 5. Now, I'll be honest, the more I have been sort of looking at the main palace, like the big palace, the more I am really unhappy with it. I think the concept is cool, but I just fell. But I don't like the lack of detail, so I'm going to start adding some of these logs. I do really believe that bringing in these logs is really going to help sell it. Look, I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft, getting ready for the new expansion. I've not played it in years and really having just a blast. I've been having so much fun with my druid. One of the things I found, though, is this troll city that has a lot of kind of similar builds to what I'm trying to do. A little bit of detailing work later, and I think that I'm on the right track. It's nowhere near done, obviously, but yeah, okay, I'm starting to believe now. Oh man, I gotta go really far. I'm going to the old Nether Fortress because I need to get a couple things. One of the things is I want another beacon, so I'm going out to my Wither Skeleton farm, and oh yeah, I really hate it. My Wither Skeleton farm here is the old version where you have to do a bunch of slabbing and stuff, and it's really takes a long time, but it actually works pretty well. I got 3 skulls very, very quickly here, so that's cool. Whenever I eventually do decide to really work on this nether, it is going to be a enormous project because the roads that I have are very long. While I was in the nether, I decided to go over to my Froglight farm and get a bunch of those. I think that kind of lighting would be really, really cool for the Jungle Kingdom. Yeah, in adding more detail, this is what I'm going to need to do. So I'm adding the wood and the fence, and I'm going to go ahead and put frog lights up on top of these little things as you go up the stairs and maybe through a lot of the actual pathing and roads. And I went with all 3 colors of frog lights absolutely randomly. Like I just let the sort of shuffle mod just pick whichever one I wanted to put down and did that. I think it's going to be cool and maybe take a little getting used to, but I think the random nature, and since all 3 are kind of in the same palette, oddly, because they're that same sort of pastel-y kind of color, I think it's going to work cool. Also, I have to remember that jungles are probably very, very damp and moist down underneath the tree canopy, I would think, because the water might not evaporate quite as quickly, and I want to really take advantage of that. So I grabbed some stairs. I'm going to waterlog them with water, and I have one stream. I'm going to have a lot more sort of going off the side of the path. I think it's going to look really, really cool and add to the immersion factor of the whole thing.
It has been months since Dr. Tepik returned to us. I do not understand how Edwin managed it, but he was able to convince the leader of the Avon, Levin Ford, to release him from his deal. Edwin has stayed on as counselor to the Levin. He sent word that he may have a way for us to communicate more efficiently than the messengers we are currently utilizing.
Miss Palomalo, we're going to need more room for education.
We just finished the new school in Steelport.
That's working well for the basic stuff, but we need more advanced education. In my time, we called it a university.
I wish Mr. Grady were here. That'd be a perfect job for him. He loves the book learning stuff.
I know it. I hope he's recovering well. I need to talk to Dr. Pickett about how he's doing when she returns from checking on him in the ancient city.
Where should we put the new university?
I'm not sure. We would need some protection. If we're housing our best and brightest there, we can't afford to lose them if something goes down. Let me think on it.
Oh, Dr. Tepik, let me...
No, it's okay. Actually, stay. That's what I came here to talk to you about.
Oh?
You've done great work here at New Hope, and I think I'm needed at Steelport. I want you to stay on here and continue looking after the people. Training our garrison and educating our kids is our first and most important mission.
Yes, I understand. I will do what I can.
Good. Though the zombie threat is gone for now, I am not convinced it's gone forever. I asked Edwin to see what the Avon know about the true origin of these undead.
Sire, I have been deep in researching the source of the undead infestation that plagues this world.
Yes, it has been a constant source of strife for my people.
The library contains little about them. Is there anything you might know to help me?
Well, nothing concrete, though they do tend to come in waves. No sighting of them for years, then suddenly an army rises from seemingly nowhere.
That is... odd? Do they come from a general direction?
Not at all. That's the difficult thing in tracking down their makers.
Makers? Sire, what do you mean?
Well, my father told me that his father...
Levin Fond II?
Indeed. He claimed his scouts once came upon an injured man who told them he was one of the Well, it was a very long time ago.
Please, sire. Anything you can remember.
I believe he claimed to be a former member of something he called the righteous domain of the Drisha. He said what they were doing was unnatural and needed to be stopped.
This is incredible. Why is it not logged in the journals?
My grandfather sent out many patrols looking for evidence of these people. Very few returned. After losing my uncle on one of these patrols, he swore everyone knowing of this righteous domain of the Drisha to secrecy. It was struck from the history books and decreed to never be spoken of again.
But why are you telling me of this now?
Because, Edwin, I believe with you here with us, things have changed. I think our very world is in the final days. The time for secrets is over.
I went to my ink farm because I need a lot of black ink for something that may or may not work out, but I found a ton of copper. I think this might be the first of those giant copper veins that I think maybe are in the game. Are those in the game? I remember those in development for 118, but did they actually add them? Or those? I don't know. Tell me. I love this world so much. I need to AFK for just a little bit at the ink farm, not very long, but I was just looking over it and I just love it. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons with my two little boys here recently because it's a great way to work on their sort of skill set. Like my older son can work on sort of conversational techniques. My younger son can work on traps that just happen to have the sight words that he's working on. It's really been a great thing, but I have been thinking about doing more D&D type of stuff within this world once I get it built up a little bit more. I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about that Dark Prismarine band that I did, but I'm gonna take a break. Sometimes when you're working on projects that aren't working out quite right, you need to step away and then come back. I think I might start a gatehouse. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it now, but at least start it. I think this is gonna be a really nice way to transition from sort of the dirt paths outside into more of the slightly nicer city roads that we're gonna have. And I think this is what I need to do. I need to do a little bit of landscaping here and cover this water and build a little bit of a cliff so that we can get a road that goes into the main part of the city. This is the Avon Kingdom on the map, and I think this area right over here is where the cliff is going to be. I'm thinking maybe about actually doing a cliff around this entire island. I'm not sure, but it might look really cool. Regardless of that, honestly, though, that's not a project for today. This is the only little bit of the cliff and expansion that I'm going to do right now. First thing, though, I got to do is before I cover it is I got to light it up. Tons of torch spam coming. And after getting it successfully lit up, then I'm just going to cover it with grass, and eventually we'll detail this way more, but I just need like sort of a base layer. You know, I used to watch Bob Ross a lot when I was younger. It was on QED all the time here in Pittsburgh, and I just loved it. And one of the things he always did is he always primed his canvas, right? He always put down sort of a base layer before actually starting to paint. That's kind of what this grass is. I want to do one more build this episode, like a bigger kind of build, and I want a nether portal. I want a good entrance way here because the nether is going to be part of this story. It is going to be here. It's not going to be something that we pretend doesn't exist. It's actually going to be something. So since we're going to do it, let's actually make the nether portals a feature. As of now, I haven't done it yet. All the nether portals in this world are kind of hidden away, but let's actually make one. I really think I want to put a really big portal on top of that little fake mountain that I made, and for the first time maybe in my Minecraft life, I actually remembered to go to the end and farm it instead of risking my life trying to pour water on an underground lava lake that inevitably usually gets me killed or at least set on fire. Yeah, okay, I'm evolving. I really think it's going to look cool. So the idea is going to be that within this jungle, there are going to be these little mounds, and there's going to be a bunch of them. And yeah, I'm just starting with one, but there's going to be a whole bunch of, oh, Shuffle Mod, I love you, but every once in a while I forget to turn you off. Anyway, there's going to be a whole bunch of these mounds, and on each of them will be like maybe a temple or an altar, or in this case, well, a giant portal. After a lot of work, I think I have a nice outline. It's not done, it's not really textured other than just some random cobblestone put in, but yeah, I think it's a good shape. These mounds are going to actually have some lore behind them, and that lore is going to be that, remember back in the 100 days on the moon, at the end the moon exploded? Well, these are actually going to be pieces of the moon. I think it's going to be really cool. Yeah, this is going to look really cool. I don't want to go overboard with leaves, but I have just some areas of moss, but not the whole thing. You see up in the top left corner, there's just some mossy stuff, but then there's not on like sort of the right side. Yeah, I think it's going to look great. But honestly, this brings me back for, I don't know, like the 10th time of being unhappy with this main temple build. So I'm going to do something that I didn't think I was, and that's going to be adding in some sort of medieval looking architecture here. I can't take the giant flat walls. I need to add some sort of thing. You know, I think I'm starting to like it more as I'm sort of doing more of these overhangs and stuff, which I know is not exactly what I intended when I started this kingdom, but I gotta be honest, it's just not settled well with me. So I'm gonna work on the inside, start to bring in some mangrove wood, and hope that that shapes up the inside as well. You know, the problem with these really big rooms is you have to divide them somehow, even though they're really nice and big, but I want to have a wall behind my storage unit, and the stairs are going to be outside. So, yeah, I'm going to build up some more stone and cobblestone. I know I'm using a lot of gray here. I know it. I know it. And a wee bit of grind later, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's not great, it's not super interesting or anything, but for right now, it's a good starting place. I have sort of these hallways up here that I could end up using for something. Maybe some windows to look down in the storage area would be cool. I have an idea of what I want to do on the very top, and I made these sort of holes, and I'm going to make it look like it's starting to fall away over time, maybe, something like that. Now, what I want to use for this is gold, and a lot of gold. I don't have a lot of gold, so maybe coming soon in the series, Gold Farm? Yeah, maybe? Yeah, I think so. It's time for the question or comment of the day from Small Games Plays. Question about the Abon. Do you have a language that you're using that also exists, or are you creating your own over time for them? Yeah, this is my good friend Raskhol Shiro, who is speaking his native tongue of Croatian. I was just thinking about using a language to have some sort of language barrier between them, and as you saw in today's lore episode, the king doesn't have that. The king can speak common or English or whatever you want to call it, I guess. It's not really English, because I think that Steve Tepic had to actually learn the language of this world early in episodes, but eventually now he speaks whatever the common language is called here. I guess I don't have a name for that. Regardless, the Abon speaks something else. That's Croatian in our world. In this world, it's not Croatian, it's something else, but you know, whatever, you get the idea. I think it leads to a sort of nice thing, and I think most people who watch videos, probably the majority of people, don't speak Croatian, so it works out perfectly as if it could be an imaginary language, but no, it's actually totally real. I send him the script in English, and he speaks it and translates it and sends me the parts. By the way, he's a YouTuber who's an amazing builder and a really, really funny guy. I will link his channel in the top of the description if you want to check it out. It's worth your time. He's great. We've been playing together for many years. I am very happy with this Abon Kingdom so far. I wasn't initially, but now that I've done some of the more of the detail work and made it look kind of more in my style, I am pretty happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Stay tuned for the epilogue right now.
So Fred, you see no mention of this righteous domain of Drysha in the ancient book.
I don't, but we're missing pages due to the age of the book.
Yes, I remember.
Edwin, you're breaking up. Can you boost the signal?
Tracy, boost the output signal, please.
Signal is currently at 95%.
Increase to 105%.
Engaging emergency power.
Fred, can you hear me?
Barely. Edwin, something is wrong.
Overload imminent.
Damn it!
Rebooting. Rebooting. Activate primary protocol.